Okay, Sonny here. So let's cover verse 2 of Lights, beginning of this video here. I would recommend you really learn verse 1 really well in the intro. So when I talk about verse 2, the repeat part, I'm not going to say. I'm not going to show you how to play it again if it's covered already in verse 1. All right. So with that said, the beginning of verse 2 is similar to how the last time we played on verse 1. It goes like this. It's the exact same thing what I showed you in verse 1 at the end. The part where you hammer on 7 to 9 fret. It ends on the B minor 7 arpeggio. And again, you play the 9th fret on the A string. And go to C chord, slide down to 7th fret. This is where it's a little bit different. It goes like this. Okay, so I'll play it again for you slowly. So I'm playing the 7th fret of A, 5th fret of D and G, back to 7th fret of A, 5th fret of D and G, and then 7th fret of A, and 7th fret on the G. And then you play the 5th fret on the G string, slide up to 7th fret, back down to 5th fret, and then play the 7th fret on the D string. And then 7th fret on the A string with the same finger, ring finger, and slide up to 9th fret on the A string. Okay, again. And repeat the same thing again the second time you play that. Now we'll go to the C chord, we'll play again a little different. Now this time I'm playing the 7th fret on the A, 5th fret on the D, and 5th fret on the G separately. Back to 7th fret on the A string. And then play the 5th fret of D and G together. And then slide up to 7th fret. So you do that twice. 7th fret down to 5th fret, back to 7th fret, down to 5th fret again, slide. And then 7th fret on the D, 7th fret on the A, slide up to 9th fret on the A. Okay, second time of the verse 2. Third time, you start exactly the same thing again. Now, on the very when I play the B minor 7 arpeggio, instead of just playing the 7th fret on G note, I'm playing the 7th fret of G and 7th fret of B note together. You can do however you want with that. You can play all 3 notes, the 7th fret of D, G, and B and E together, if you like. So again. Let it rain out, and then 7th fret, 5th fret, A7, D5, and G5. Back to 7th fret of A, and then play 7th fret of G alone. Pause, give a vibrato, and then G5, D7, D5. And turn around. B minor, C, sus. Ends on the inversion of D major chord, which is A9, D7, and G7. All right, that's the end of verse 2, and then we'll go into a bridge section. It's completely different than what we just learned. Alright, so again, play the whole thing, verse 2 from the beginning. So verse 2. Turn around. Pause for a measure. It goes to the bridge. Turn around. Okay, so what I'm playing is there, I'm playing the B minor chord at the second position. So that's D2, A2, D4, G4, B3, index finger barring down the second fret of high E string. So you do that, so what I'm doing is I'll play the B minor chord and play the A chord, open A chord, and quickly go to the G chord. And you go to D chord, open D chord, and open A string, and play a D chord again 5 times, and back to B chord again, B minor 7. Quickly, G chord. So basically I'm doing the B minor 7, A quickly, and back to G and G. And then D chord twice, and down, up, and down again, and then D chord and A chord, and then A chord one more time, and then you play this B flat chord, the B flat power chord. It's like a walk up. The B flat chord is B2, A2, A1, D3, and G3. So you quickly play that power chord, B flat power chord, and back to B minor chord again. And then quickly A again to G, D chord, and then you go to that, and then you end on turn around again, exactly like the intro. Now the last part is different. Last part goes like this. So after I slide from 7th fret to 9th fret on the A string, I play the D7, G7, B8, and pull off on the 7th fret, and then 9th fret and 7th fret on the G, 9, 7 on the D, 9 on the A, slide down to 7th fret, and 5th fret on the A. Alright, so that's the end of the bridge. So I'm gonna play the whole bridge for you slowly again. It goes like this. you don't slide down fast. You have to slow, even note, just like that. Alright, so after we play the intro, verse 1, verse 2, bridge, now into verse 3. Verse 3 is very similar to verse 1 and 2, was slightly different. But let me play for you one time on the beginning of verse 3, we'll go over it. The beginning of that part is exactly as one part I show you in verse 1. So, I'm sorry. And then B minor 7 arpeggio. I'm sorry, yeah. And then you play 9th fret on the D string. And then A7, D5, G5, A7 again. And you play the 5th fret of D and G together and hammer on to 7th fret on the G string. So you play the 5th fret of D and G first. And you play it again quickly, hammer on the 7th fret on the G. And then G5, D7, D5. And then 7th fret on the A slap to 9th fret on the A. Alright, so again, that's the beginning part of verse 3. So now, the second time we play the verse 3 right here, it's the next part is the same thing as I showed you earlier in verse 1 and verse 2. So we play 7th fret on the D, slap to 9th fret on the D, 7th fret on the D, 9th fret on the A, 7th fret on the E, 9th fret on the A, and the 7th fret, hammer on the 9th fret, and pull off 7th fret again, just like what I showed you in verse 1. So I'm going to play that part so you know what it sounds like. Single note. So that part there. It's just kind of what I showed you before in the beginning of verse 3. So let me put it all together. The second part, first part and second part of verse 3 together. This next part is the same thing as we did before in verse 1, verse 3, verse 2. The hammer on thingy, and then B minor 7 arpeggio, the B minor arpeggio, and then play 9th fret again on the A string, slide down to 7th fret, and then 5th fret on the D and G, 7th fret again on the A, and 5th fret of D and G again. 7th fret on the G, and then G5, D7, D5, and then turn around. Okay, let me play the whole thing slowly. Put the verse 3 all together. All right. get into the solo. So that part right there, soft fret play, and you kind of do a slide, and then you slide back up from 7th fret to 9th fret on the A, and then D7, and then D9, and G7, and then 9th fret on the G, slide up to 11th fret using my middle finger, and then 10 and 12 on the B, and then 12th fret on the E string, bend up to full step to 14th fret. So you play the 12th fret on the high E string twice. Make sure you bend it to the 14th fret. You play the 12th fret again, half step up, and then play the 10. Release back down, play the 10th fret on the E string, and then 12 and 10 again on the E string. So far we have this. Next part. So it's 10 high E string, 12 on the B string, 10 on the high E, and then 12th fret on the E string, bend up full step twice, and then you do the same thing. 12, 10, 12. You gotta bend a little bit, release 10 and 12. Ends on the 10th fret on the B string. So far we have this. First two phrases of solo. Next one, I use my pinky on the 10th fret on the E string, but I use all the other finger to kind of help bend it up. Full step from 10 to 12. And you back to 10. Now if you don't use pinky, you can use the ring finger. That's fine too. And then really quickly you play the pentatonics B minor. So it's B high E7, B10, B7. And then 9th fret on the G string, bend up, release back down. Pull off on 7th fret, and then D9, G7. So that one phrasing goes like this. Slowly. Next part. So stay in the B minor pentatonic scale. You play the 7th fret on the D, slap to 9th fret, and then 7 and 9 on the G string, and bend up from the 9th fret on the G string, full step. So you gotta make sure you hear it slowly bend up, and you bend this 9th fret again to full step up to the 11th fret, but this time you bend it fast. And you release back down, you pick the 7th, and you pick the 9th fret at natural position, and pull on the 7th fret. And ends on 9th fret on the G. So slowly. Again. Make sure you when you bend the 9th fret up, make sure you bend all the way up to the 11th fret. Next part, slide from, you play the 9th fret again on the G, slide to the 11th fret. So what I'm playing is I play the 9th fret on the G string, slide up to 11th fret, 10 and 12 on the B string, and then you pick the 10th fret together, both string, B and E, and hammer on with your ring finger onto 12th fret on the B string only. You can still hear the 10th fret on the high E string, just don't let it stop. So after you hammer on, you play those two notes. So you play the 12th fret on the B and the 10th fret on the E together. You do that twice, and then you pick that B12, E10 to one time. And you pull off the 10th fret with your ring finger. Pull off the 10th fret on the B string, and they pick the 12th fret on the G string by itself. Right. So that one lick goes like this. Alright, so far I didn't play the whole thing slowly, what we have from the solo. Next part. This is probably the hardest lick in this solo. So you basically go down vertically, going down. So you pick the 10th fret on E, 10th fret on the B together, separately. They start off even note, like that. And then once you get to about 7th fret, goes kind of like a little shovel rhythm to it. So it goes like this. So it goes from 10, E10, B10, B12, G11, and then B10, G9. That's one 7th fret on the B and 7th fret on the G. This one is solo. After you play the 7th fret of B and G, you play the 9th fret of G and D. And then 7th fret of G and D. 9th fret of D and A. 7th fret of D and A. And then 9, 7, 9 on the A string. And you play the 7th fret on the A string, hammer on the 9th fret, pull off on the 7th fret. And ends on the 5th fret. So that run goes like this, slowly. Again, slowly. Alright. The next lick goes like this. After you play that 5th fret, you slide down, slide back up. So you play this 15th fret on the E string. You bend up to 17th fret. You bend up to 17th fret, you release back down. And pull off on 13th fret. You play the 15th fret on the B string. And then you play the high E string 15th fret again. Do the same thing, but this time you pull off on 13th fret. You hammer on back and you pick the 15th fret on the high E string again. Next part. You pick the 13th fret on the E string with index finger only. It's a little hard, but just bend it a quarter. You don't quite bend it to the 14th fret. It's almost between 13th and 14th fret. You pick and then you play the 15th fret on the B string to end that lick. It goes like this. I'm sorry. Alright, so that one lick together goes like this. Next part. That's G16, slide up, 15, 17 on the B. And then you kind of do the same thing what we did at the 10th fret position. You do it at the 17th fret with the 19th note hammer on the B string. And then it goes into verse 4. So that's the end of solo. I'm going to play the whole solo to you slowly from the top. Start from turn around. And then verse 4. Pretty much what I show you in verse 3, and just play that one part over again. So you gotta do that this hammer on that part. Yeah. You just do the same thing again. It's the single note variation I show you. Do the same thing again. Turn around. Now, at the end of verse 4, you played it. After you play the inversion of major, the D major chord, you gotta play the 11th fret on the G string, and then you will play this. So that's 9-7 on the G, and then A, and then D9, and then D7, A9, slide down to 7th fret quickly, and 5th fret on the A. So and then you do a turnaround again. Now the very last part, you don't play the D major 7. You don't play that. You play this. So I'm playing the 9th fret of G and 8th fret of B string, and slide up half step to G10 and B9, and then you play the 7th fret of G and B together. Actually, I'm sorry, slide back down. So again, at the end right there. Turn around again. that's the end of the song. Thanks for watching.